Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, July 6th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, a couple of quick clarifications. Number one, the price you see over here will be changing, and the candlestick you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market is still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, RIVN, had a very nice move on Monday, and then again, the markets were closed on Tuesday because of Independence Day here in the United States. So market back open here, and you can see the trend continues, put in higher highs, and then had this bit of a pullback right here. But to be fair, as I speak, you can see late afternoon, price is trying to work its way back upwards. But assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view, overall, the trend is perfectly fine. And I make that comment because I do realize there is a point of view where if you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 5 minutes, well then yes, from that perspective, the chart does look pretty rough because the price has had this bigger pullback right here. But assuming you care about the grand scheme of things, everything is still perfectly fine, even with that pullback. And like I said, if anything, things are getting that much more interesting because late day here, the price is starting to work its way back upwards. As far as areas of resistance are at to watch moving forward, key level in my mind, right up there at $20.70. And in my opinion, if the price can break through that level on a high volume break, then of course there are no guarantees, but I don't think it'd be shocking to see the price then push up through that previous high right there. And then as far as supports are concerned, if you like to play more so pullbacks, then an interesting pullback area right down here on the bottom part of this channel around $19.35. But big picture wise, as I'll show here, you can see the upward trend continues on up. And as long as your price continues putting higher highs and higher lows, that's by far what matters most. Next one here, MULN, absolutely monster volume today, over 1 billion shares traded. As you can see down here, and when you look over here, you can see the volume just continues to just pour in. So yes, a whole lot of volume on this one and a good solid pattern here that is formed. So let me get this pattern in play. So we have that part of the pattern, the resistance. We have that part of the pattern, the support. So let me actually change that to green to represent more so the support area of things. And then maybe make it easier to see. Let's just keep it one color here. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the explosion right here. For you golfers out there, I'll help them make it a little bit more visual. Put a golf hole down here. This would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So while nothing is guaranteed, it's very plausible to think that when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, and you can call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, but when a lot of people are watching the same patterns, that if this thing breaks, just for the simple reason that it broke, could very well create just that much more buying pressure. Now, with all that being said, one note of warning, let me squeeze this down. Even if there is a breakout, yes, that's a good thing, but I'm just, don't get too excited because not that far away, up above the upwards part of this breakout is that 200 period moving average, a pink line there, right now valued right there at 19 cents. So again, this is a great looking pattern. A breakout is a bullish event. I'm just saying be a little more skeptical of the breakout because the price is going to need to prove itself that it's able to get up through that pink line there, the 200 period moving average. But all in all, crazy amount of volume, nice looking pattern. So for you penny stock players out there, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, IMPL, and pretty crazy day. Started off strong, went to sleep this afternoon, had another surge of volume, and is apparently pulling back. But through all the craziness, there's definitely been a couple levels that have made themselves known. First level right here at $1.53. Like I said, through all the ups and downs, it's become pretty clear that down here at this level, there seems to be people always interested in buying whenever the price gets down around there. Now, let me be very clear. Does that mean that people are guaranteed to continue to buy? There are no guarantees. So moving forward, the price could very well just collapse down through there. But my point here is it's plausible. It's valid for you to think, yeah, but I think the price could bounce off there. It's bounced off there several times before. And so in other words, nobody could accuse you of saying that that's some sort of random location on the chart. In terms of levels of resistance, my mind key level now going to be right up there at that $1.90 mark. So keep a close eye on that. If the price does make another attempted curl back upwards, looking like $1.90 will be that main level. And then especially with the good high volume break, like I said before, no guarantees, but high volume break of that level, I think the price is a great chance of then pushing up through that level and picking up that much more momentum. But one step at a time, we'll see if this pullback is once again just a healthy pullback before it comes back up. But no doubt about it, quite a lot of movement on this one today. Next one, NIO, and just an absolutely beautiful pattern here. And I say this because, and again, I'm not trying to press you. I'm not trying to imply this is a great skill or a special discovery. The exact opposite. I assure you, a ton of people have drawn that trend line right there, which once again introduces that whole talking point of self-fulfilling prophecies, where when a lot of people are watching the same trend lines and wondering the same things, I mean, that in and of itself can create good upward pressure. So if the price can come up here and break up through there, then it's valid, it's rational to think that a plausible conclusion could be that there's just that much more buying pressure and volume that pours in. So keep an eye on that. In terms of levels of support, interesting level right down there. So again, let me change that to green to represent more so the support area if you like to play pullbacks. But all in all, you got to think that everybody and their brother's uncle has drawn that resistance trend line right there. So if you like to play these potential, breakouts in already uptrending situations, which you can see right here, I'd certainly keep an eye on that trend line. Next one here is AMC, and overall it just pulled back more today from where it was on Monday with that pullback, and now definitely want to keep an eye on a couple of near-term levels of support that I'm not going to call do or die levels, but I would say are very important. This level right here at $4.22, you can see it did a good job of holding strong there, and to give credit where credit's due, held strong once again. But as I speak, you can see this last 30 minutes, the price is potentially going to approach it once again, and that's where it just becomes a question of, is it going to bounce or not? Looking down here, you can see volume coming in pretty strongly. So not a good final 30 minutes here for AMC, so that certainly makes it a very valid question of, is this some sort of leading indicator of more bearishness to come on Thursday when, Wednesday here is the last 30 minutes, a whole lot of selling pressure has shown up. So keep an eye on that. If the price does break through $4.22, then there is a pretty big space around the chart, which doesn't mean that the price is dropping straight down on that secondary level around $4, but I also don't think it would catch anybody off guard if the price all of a sudden started to drift relatively quickly down in that area. But yeah, all eyes going to be on that $4.22 mark, so we'll see if the price can hold above there or not. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free training. Next one, BTAI. Very, very nice move here. And not a whole lot you can do with it right now because, to be fair, now, if you caught this move, congratulations, but the breakout already happened. So you had that area. In fact, I should have probably just drawn up as. So you had this pattern taking place, basically a bull pennant. So yes, the bull pennant, technically speaking, has already been broken, but this now leads to a very exciting question. Is this the start of something even bigger? Now, think about that question. It makes no sense to ask that question if nothing worthwhile has even happened. But in this situation, something worthwhile has happened. So it does make sense to say, okay, is this the start of something bigger? Now, to be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this thing just rolls right back over. That's always possible. But that is a two-sided coin because, well, maybe it is, and this thing just keeps ripping and roaring for the remainder of the week. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but that's the whole idea of a watch list, is to find unique, to find interesting situations, and not randomly rush out and start buying stuff, but to watch it and see how things play out. So if you find this a unique and interesting situation, if you like to be able to ask the question, is this the start of something even bigger, then I'd certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, TMC, and nothing really too complicated here. We have ourselves another one of these patterns, which, if you want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy type setup, I'd have no problem with that. So let me just get the pattern in play, and I'm going to go relatively quickly because you've already heard me say all this stuff. So we'll just try to be as streamlined as possible, and then let's keep it one color. So resistance, support, nice upwards move there. Golf hole down here, bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants, if you like stocks down below $5, certainly keep an eye on it. Next, MARA, we've been tracking it very closely. And on this one, I'm just going to go ahead and adjust the area of resistance now that we have more data. And the question becomes, well, what direction is this area of resistance being adjusted? And after this movement today, I'm going to go ahead and adjust it upwards to that level right there at $15.85. And assuming you're bullish, that's always a good thing when levels of resistance need to be adjusted in the upwards direction. So adjustment up. In other words, this thing has put in a higher high, which is quite impressive given that it started off the day with a gap down here. But after that gap down, and I mean, not to pat myself on the back, but to try to turn into a quick plug, get signed up for that free training. I mean, for those of you that watched previous video, you know that I put that line in there before. So I didn't just throw it in there before I started to record this. It's been in there. So again, not to pat myself on the back, but certainly to pat charts on the back. Go get signed up for that free training. They are a very powerful tool. I mean, gap down right at that green line and then bounce. And not only did it go up to the highs, but as I already said, put in actually slightly higher highs, which shows just how strong today was. So from a bigger picture point of view, as you can see here, the overall uptrend continues, and as long as the price keeps on putting in those higher highs and higher lows, that's what matters most. Next one, TSLA Tesla. Mapped out this pattern here on Monday, and you can see that today price came up, got the breakout through there. Not an explosive break, but a healthy enough break. It's not like the price dropped right back where it was, broke, need a little consolidation, and now as I speak, this thing is apparently headed back up to those highs, which is where the main level that you got to think a lot of people are watching, because you're just noticing, okay, this was the high from back here. And now I'm not curious. So the high right there, to be exact, 284.25. What was the high during this last 30 minutes? 283.85. So right about, 40 cents. So within 40 cents, which is pretty darn close on a stock that's $280. So once again, I'm not going to reiterate, but you get the idea now of self-fulfilling prophecy. So you got to think that all sorts of people are watching that level of resistance. So if it breaks, could that very well create an upwards, movement just because of a self-fulfilling prophecy? Absolutely. And then on the flip side of things, you have a nice little uptrend line here that has formed. So you have overall a nice little wedge here that is very clearly occurring in an overall uptrend. So a lot of things to like here. But as always, there's no guarantees, so manage risk as you should. But yeah, as far as the pattern is concerned and the levels that you got to think a lot of people are watching, I think these both summarize that quite well. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ. So if you believe the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to rise, this one will also rise. And so it's a very popular ETF. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this line as it seems to not really played that great of a role, but a level that has definitely played a role. And after today's movement, you got to think has become that much more of a potential self-fulfilling prophecy is this red line here at 41.50, which I talked about previously. Now the price did break above it here, and this was a pretty cruel move. The price acted like it wanted to be strong and then just went and fell right back below that level. And then notice what happened. That level went right back to be in an area of resistance multiple times. So you got to think everybody and their brother's uncle is watching 41.50, which once again introduces in those potential self-fulfilling prophecies in terms of levels of support. From an overarching standpoint, you do have a nice little uptrend line right here. So I'm not going to call it the most clean trend line, but I think suitable enough to throw that in there. Maybe you just want to use that purple line there, the 50-period moving average, as your support level. But again, I think the most interesting dynamic that the majority of people are going to be watching, especially with the way the price has respected that level after falling back below it, is all about 41.50. So let's see what happens with it on Thursday. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to go get signed up for that free class. Like I said, it'll be next week, Thursday, July 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment below. Say hi. Tell me what you did for 4th of July. Tell me what you're watching for tomorrow. But those two things communicate to me that you enjoy, and as long as I know you're enjoying, I'll continue to make these videos. So go get signed up for that live class. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.